The year is 1902. The world stands on the edge of unimaginable change. Steamships rule the oceans, empires cast long shadows, and electric dreams flicker into life. But beneath the surface, the world is beginning to crackle with innovation, upheaval, and tragedy. Welcome to 1900 Chronicles History's Time Machine. Today, we journey through 10 defining moments of 1902. From explosive inventions to global alliances, volcanic fury to the birth of a cultural icon. This is history like you've never heard it before. It began with a handshake in London and ended with a seismic shift in world power. On January 30th, 1902, Britain and Japan signed an alliance that stunned the globe, a Western empire and an Eastern power agreeing to defend each other's interests in Asia. At the heart of the deal was fear of Russia's growing might. Japan would no longer stand alone, and Britain had found a partner who could watch its back in the Pacific. The alliance cracked the illusion of European dominance and planted the seeds for a future shaped by new global players. It was more than diplomacy. It was a preview of the century to come, where alliances would redraw borders and loyalties would decide empires. In a dusty courtroom in South Africa, justice, or revenge, took its course. On February 27, 1902, two Australian soldiers, Harry Breaker Morant and Peter Hancock, faced a British firing squad. Charged with executing Boer prisoners during the guerrilla war, their trial was swift, their sentence controversial. To some, they were scapegoats, used to shield higher command. To others, they were cold-blooded killers. Their story would echo for decades, igniting debate about war crimes, military loyalty, and empire. In time, Breaker Morant became more than a man. He became a myth. It started with a hunting trip and ended with a toy that would conquer the world. In November 1902, U.S. President Theodore Roosevelt refused to shoot a bear cub that had been tied up for him in Mississippi. A political cartoon captured the moment, and two New York shopkeepers turned it into a plush toy. They called it Teddy's Bear. The teddy bear became an icon of childhood, comfort, and innocence. Born from mercy, marketed with genius, and destined to outlive empires. Before the multiplex, before Hollywood, there was the Nickelodeon. On April 16, 1902, in Los Angeles, the first permanent electric movie theater opened its doors. For a nickel, people could escape into moving pictures. Short films lit by flickering light and wonder. Crowds lined up for the thrill of it all. It wasn't just entertainment. It was the birth of modern cinema. A revolution in storytelling had begun, one flickering frame at a time. In the quiet halls of the Royal Victoria Hospital, a quiet revolution began. On January 10, 1902, Ellen Dougherty of New Zealand became the world's first state-registered nurse. No longer just helpers, nurses were recognized as trained professionals, vital to public health. With pen and ink, history changed for women and medicine. Ellen's certification wasn't just about one woman. It marked a global shift toward the professionalization of care, one that still echoes in hospitals today. Thomas Edison thought he had the future in his hands. until March 10, 1902, when a U.S. court invalidated his motion picture patent. Edison had claimed he owned the right to almost every moving image in America, but rivals fought back, and the court ruled that innovation couldn't be caged by monopoly. With that one decision, the camera was freed. Independent filmmakers surged forward. The movies weren't just Edison's dream anymore, they belonged to the world. On September 10, 1902, a rocket hit the moon, and the world's imagination. Georges Méliès premiered A Trip to the Moon, the first science fiction film in history. Audiences had never seen anything like it. Astronauts, explosions, moon monsters. It wasn't just a movie. It was a dream captured on celluloid. Méliès had opened the door to a new universe. Cinema was no longer about recording reality. It was about escaping it. It began with a rumble and ended with ruin. On April 18, 1902, Guatemala was rocked by a devastating earthquake. Entire cities crumbled, churches collapsed, thousands were left without homes, and in the aftershock silence, disease and famine crept in. But from the rubble rose resilience. Communities rebuilt, traditions endured, and the scars of 1902 became reminders of a nation's strength. It should have been a celebration. On September 19, 1902, the Shiloh Baptist Church in Birmingham, Alabama, was packed with over 3,000 worshipers attending a special service. But when a man called out, "Fight!" panic followed. In the dark, confusion turned to horror. A stampede erupted down the narrow stairways. By the time the dust settled, over 100 lives had been lost. A tragedy born not of violence, but of fear. One of America's deadliest stampedes, almost forgotten by time. On October 25, 1902, the Santa María Volcano in Guatemala unleashed one of the most violent eruptions of the 20th century. Ash clouds soared miles high, darkening skies across Central America. Entire villages were buried under pyroclastic flows and ashfall. The eruption changed landscapes, displaced thousands, and sent shockwaves through the scientific community, reshaping our understanding of volcanic power. The Santa Maria eruption remains a stark reminder of nature's unstoppable force, reshaping lives and landscapes alike. As we look back on 1902, we see a world on the brink of transformation, where empires forged alliances, innovation challenged tradition, and ordinary lives were shaped by extraordinary events. Thank you for joining us on this journey through history's forgotten moments. We are committed to uncovering rare and untold stories, and your support helps bring history to life. If there's a story you want us to explore next, let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us for more journeys through the past.